impact or not.
I love that perspective, Ryan, and I think that offers a lot of valuable insight to other people. And I think that's kind of the biggest allowability and perspective that you can offer, and it really helps kind of bring people to create change. And that's something that I've been learning throughout my life is, I can't go and just tell people what is the right way. You have to show them, and by showing them, you just have to be living as an example of it and showing them how you are doing it, and if they want to follow suit, they can. And I think that's the beautiful thing of the internet and such, is you could be doing this gratitude challenge and explaining how important gratitude is and why you should be grateful for these things, and that'll only transpire others to want to join that movement. And I really think that there are a lot of other positive routines that you could try to implement. So, what are some other things besides gratitude that you have used through your own recovery or within some of your clients as well? What are some positive routines that you try to promote?
So right away, I learned early on in recovery that I can get a lot done in the morning. I went from being very, very lazy, procrastinator, not doing much, to waking up early. So even on days I can sleep in, there's no way I'm sleeping in past like 7 or 8. So I typically get up at 6 and I just go, man. So I wake up, I sometimes I'll do a workout in the morning. Sometimes I will, I'll read something in the morning. I'll practice meditation in the morning. But basically, I leave myself the flexibility that I get up and I can kind of do what I want. I have 2 kids that are 7 and 3. So it's also helpful to get up early because not everyone else is up, right? Or up yet, right? So definitely exercise. I'm huge on mind state and setting your intention. So what I mean by setting your intention is I will like quietly hold space for myself, and I will set the intention that today is going to be a good day. And by doing that, I'm not, it's almost a spiritual thing. Like I'm not saying that everything is going to go my way today, because life is extremely unfair, and I understand that. I'm not expecting everything to go my way. What I'm doing is I'm getting myself into a mental state where, no matter what comes my way today, I can handle this in a positive way. I can manage it. So even if today I'm not feeling it, I can manage, the discontent that I'm experiencing. And I also tried to establish I'm big on lists and reminders on my phone. So I like to have almost like an attack mindset when it comes to getting things done. So everyday things, right? Groceries, taxes, whatever it is that comes up, I really like to attack those things. And I have a mentality of front loading the week. So what I mean by that is I do the most on the first few days of the week. So Monday is really intense. I do my most intense workout on Monday. I get groceries on Monday. I'll do laundry on Monday. I get as many sessions in as I can. And by creating this, what I've done is I'm front loading my days because I'm getting up early and doing these things. And then I'm also doing it in the week. And as Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday roll around, there's a lot more flexibility and freedom to kind of do what I want. So, definitely exercise, journaling, focusing on the gratitude, getting your mindset into a good place, working with others, talking to people, asking people how they're doing. Who, if you're a social media person, you hop on social media in the morning, you better be following positive people. You got to be following people that are doing well in their lives and are successful. Because if you throw it on and you see that same complainer, that can have an impact on you, especially early in the morning. So really like the relationships in my life and, motivational tapes. I have an iPod in my car that I listen to my music on, and I probably got like 10 to 15 motivational videos on there. And it's just 10 minutes long of like powerhouse people firing you up. So, there's so many different things. I find it's different for everybody. That's one of the cool things about life is you can create what that looks like for you. And I think people often find personal growth is like all this work, when in reality, it's like, what do I enjoy? Am I living a life I want to live? Obviously, I can't do everything I want to do all the time. There's things I need to do and get done so I can spend time with my kids and I can spend time with my partner and I can, do whatever it is I want to do. But you got to get it, man. You got to get up and you got to put in work. So, it's you got to find what you love and make that the majority of your day. I'm not a huge fan of working out, but I do it. It's one of the things that I have to have discipline for. And I think that's the final piece is you're not always going to be motivated. So you better have self-discipline. You better be able to do the right thing, even when your mind tells you, go back to bed. So your alarm clock goes off. My mind says, hey, go back to bed. But what I know is right for me, for my family, for everybody is for me to get up and do what it is I need to do, right? So I've learned to stop listening to like that ego and, recognizing what's good for me as opposed to what do I want? Because what I want oftentimes isn't what's right for me.
I love that perspective, Ryan, and I think that it's such a great way that how you incorporate those intentions and those implications, the goal setting and all of this to kind of framework the way that you schedule and plan out your day and act it and live it presently in the moment and being in touch with everything that you're trying to do. I think it's great and it offers a lot of motivation within the whole community behind you, as well as your clients, as well as everybody who you're in touch with. And I think that's why relationships are so important. Like you were saying, that's really what kind of drives that change within society, within your own life. And, if we bring it back a step just to, if someone was to come and, come to terms with their addiction, with their mental health issues, you spoke about how you provide your coaching, but why don't you speak a little bit more how someone would necessarily come to reaching out to a coach or reaching out to a rehab facility? Kind of what are the options for someone to seek out these resources?
So if you were looking for treatment, just hop on Google in your local area and find what's called an assessment agency or a detox. When someone gets to the point where they're really, really hurting, you would reach into a detox. Nowadays with social media, like for me, if you wanted to talk to me, all you do is send a message on Instagram or Facebook. So literally, if you just search Ryan Kitchen Coaching, and there's so many of people out there that are doing the same thing that I do. I've gotten people. I had a thing I did with a guy from Florida. I was working with a client in Minnesota, and it's all you need to do nowadays is just reach out, and even with video chats and things like that, it's very, very easy to have that conversation with someone thanks to technology. So there's two options: hop on Google and look up your local resources, but then hop on social media and search, resources for addiction, and you just look at hashtags, recovery, things like that, and you reach out and talk to people.
That's great. And I think that's why social media offers such a great platform for anybody in any field, because it's so diverse and there's so many people out there that are willing to either lend a hand or have a conversation and just offer, just someone to speak with, which is why it is so great. And it offers so many opportunities for growth in any field. And as we're speaking about, the change that you're creating, what you're doing on social media, I have to ask whether it's exactly a moment that you knew you wanted to create change within mental health or drug addiction, or maybe it's a moment, a positive experience that you were reciprocated on from when you helped someone. Just speak about a moment that really helped you to truly love and be passionate about your own work.
Man, it's hard to define the moment. Like when I started making videos and putting myself out there, I've always been really open about my recovery with everybody in my life. But when I started making these videos and putting them on the internet, which was, it's a pretty daunting task. It's pretty scary, right? I was very like, oh man, this is crazy. If I'm going to be talking, then obviously I'm opening myself up to a lot of judgment. I don't know what drove me to do that. It was so organic that it was just something that I felt. I want to reach more people than just the addictions and mental health field. So I started making these, I started making these videos, and there was just, like I said, that passion, that fire. And then I started having people like giving me props and telling me they appreciated it, and reaching out and asking for help and stuff like that. So when I started making these videos, I still have the same approach today. It's very much like just me talking about stuff, and I'm not really trying to achieve anything other than just share my experience. But out of that is where I started to have people, want to hire me to actually work with them. So it all just kind of happened for me. And the thing I always remember from early on in recovery that changed me is early in recovery, I met other people who were in recovery. And these people loved me, these people respected me, and I could be flawed around them. So the thing that I always try to remember when first helping someone is, see this person as the amazing person they are, not all the ego garbage, and respect them and accept them, and try to make them feel safe. We need safety as human beings.
I love that, Ryan. I think that's a great way to really offer what we need in society. And it's definitely a perspective that will help drive change in our society. So, before I ask my last question, I just want to offer the time for you to speak about any experience, lesson, or any tip that you want to let the audience know about anything that you've really encountered thus far and have been experiencing, and as well just offer any place that people can find you at, whether it's your Instagram or website. Let them know where they can follow you.
Yeah, so I think one thing to offer everybody, not just someone struggling with something, is recognizing that your experience in your life is based off your perception. So you're not responsible, the things you've gone through, the things that make you a victim that were completely out of your control. I'm sorry you went through those things, and you're not responsible for them, but you are responsible for the life you create now. So you need to start to understand that I don't need to depend on people, places, and things to make me happy, that happiness comes from my reaction to people, places, and things, and rather seeking happiness from my relationships and from work and all these other things. If I'm able to shift my mind to, am I bringing love on a daily basis? Am I bringing happiness to people's lives? And I promise you, if you focus on shifting your mind in this way, out of the victim mindset into a mindset of abundance and loving and lovable, that will change your life entirely. And for any of my videos, or to talk to me or any stuff like that, hit me up on Instagram or Facebook at Ryan Kitchen Coaching.
Perfect. And we'll have those links below in the show notes, so you'll be able to get in contact with Ryan very easily, and definitely follow and become a part of the 30 days of gratitude. It's definitely something that I truly promote. I love offering gratitude, little tips and exercises within my daily journaling. So it's definitely something I recommend. And for the last question, I have to ask you, Ryan, if you were writing a book about yourself, kind of what would the chapter be of your present moment today? What you're doing right now today? What would the chapter of your own book be called?
Oh man. I guess it's like the never ending story. It just keeps, it's hard to describe. It just keeps getting better and better and better. And I can struggle and suffer just as much today as I did a decade ago. The difference is today is I see it has purpose in my life. I see it has value. So, this past year for me, stepping into entrepreneurship, it's always a journey as a father when you have two kids, and relationships are hard. So always trying to be the best partner I can be to my wife. And so yeah, it just never ends. And I try to maintain that humble mindset of, I got a lot of work to do. I'm definitely a better person than I was a year ago, and 10 years ago, and 20 years ago. But I don't want to stop. I want to stay hungry. I want to be the best possible version of myself I can be. And I want to continue to support others and be in the best possible versions of themselves as well.
That is wonderful, Ryan, and I truly thank